My mother-in-law's suicide note was my social execution. When the note was made public, detailing how I had allegedly seduced my father-in-law, my life ended. The whispers and accusations followed me everywhere. A relentless tide of shame that pulled me under into the depths of a severe depression. Overwhelmed and broken, I finally collapsed. In the sterile white of a hospital room, my body giving out, a vision came to me. My dead mother-in-law, Eleanor, appeared at my bedside, draped in gold and jewels, holding the hand of a strange old man. A triumphant, cruel smile played on her lips. "Oh, I owe it all to you, my dear daughter-in-law," she cooed. "If it weren't for you, how could I ever have escaped to be with my darling?" In that moment I understood. Her death was a lie. A meticulously crafted performance designed to free her to run away with her lover, to live out some twisted twilight romance. Then my eyes snapped open. I was back. Back on the very day of her death. "You give me back my wife." My father-in-law, Arthur, a gaunt and wiry man, lunged at me. He clawed and scratched, his yellowed teeth gnashing inches from my face. "It's all your fault. All your fault. Why couldn't you leave me alone? Always trying to seduce me. Now you've driven my wife to her grave, are you happy now?" Crack. A sharp slap sent a shockwave through my jaw. My left cheek swelled instantly, and the coppery taste of blood filled my mouth. The guests at the luncheon, a celebration for my pregnancy, gasped in unison. "Arthur, what are you doing? Why are you hitting her? Your wife. What happened to Eleanor? Wasn't she fine just yesterday? She was playing mahjong with us." Arthur's face, a mask of sallow skin stretched tight over bone, contorted with rage. He brandished a letter with a trembling hand. "My wife is dead. She died today. This is her suicide note. If you don't believe me, read it for yourselves." Seeing that letter, stained with what was supposed to be blood, it all came rushing back. I had been reborn. I was back on the day of Eleanor's fake suicide. In my previous life, Arthur had done the exact same thing. In front of all our friends and family, he had produced the note, photographed it, and sent it to every family group chat. The scene had exploded into chaos. The letter was a masterpiece of fiction. It painted a vivid picture of how I, the daughter-in-law, had systematically seduced my father-in-law. Detailed my supposed mockery and abuse of my poor, saintly mother-in-law, claiming my cruelty had driven her to depression and finally, to suicide by poison. Arthur clutched the letter, tears streaming down his face, playing the part of the grieving widower to perfection. And me, the accused? Before I could even form a defense, I was swarmed. My God, they didn't welcome a daughter, they welcomed a viper into their home. Just look at her. That shameless, seductive face. You can tell she's no good. Poor Eleanor worked her fingers to the bone her whole life, only to be driven to this. What a tragedy. Then came the final nail in my coffin. "And she's pregnant too," someone sneered. "Who knows whose seed that is in her belly?" My husband Leo, whose face was already a storm cloud, turned a shade darker. He pushed through the crowd and strode toward me. Tears of relief welled in my eyes. I fought the urge to throw myself into his arms, whimpering his name. "Leo!" The next thing I knew, another slap, harder than the first, struck my other cheek. I stared at the man I had loved for 10 years, my world tilting on its axis. "Leo!" He clutched his heart, his face a mask of agony. "Grace, I never knew you were this kind of woman. I was so wrong about you. This slap, this is on my father's behalf." I held my burning cheeks, tears flowing freely. "Leo, I'm your wife. How can you not believe me? I'm carrying your child." The word child seemed to shake him from his stupor. But in the next second he shoved me to the ground. His fists, hard and unforgiving, began to rain down on my stomach. His eyes were bloodshot, his face a grotesque snarl. A terrifying departure from his usual gentleness. Yet his voice was a soft, chilling caress. "Don't be afraid, Grace. I won't hold it against you that you're tainted. As long as this baby is gone, you can be my clean, pure wife again." Excruciating pain ripped through my abdomen. I fought him with all my strength. "Leo, this is our baby. The one we tried for through years of IVF. You can't do this." A bleak smile touched his lips. "We'll have other children, my love. We don't need this bastard child." With his final word, a desperate madness seized me, but I was no match for his strength. Blood pooled beneath me, staining the floor a deep crimson. I reached out, begging the onlookers for help, but no one moved. They watched with cold, pitying eyes, their sympathy reserved for the man who had lost his mother and been betrayed by his wife. I blacked out. When I awoke, the baby was gone, discarded like trash. Eleanor had already been cremated, her funeral complete. It had all happened so fast. The story of what happened at the luncheon spread like wildfire. Everyone knew that the Lee family had a shameless harlot for a daughter-in-law, a woman who had seduced her own father-in-law and killed her mother-in-law. Burdened by public condemnation, I was forced to take care of Arthur. He demanded money and I had to provide it. His demands grew and soon I was working 3 jobs, surviving on instant noodles and pickled vegetables, giving every penny I earned to him. Leo, lost in his grief, was a ghost in my life. 10 years later, at 42, my body finally gave up. And on my deathbed, Eleanor came to me, revealing the truth. In the end, I died full of hatred, while Arthur and Leo used my money to marry new wives and live happily ever after. But not this time. Reborn into this moment, I would not let Eleanor win. I would turn her fake death into a real one. I stared at Arthur's disgusting, tear-streaked face. You say I seduced you? Do you have any proof? This time my voice was cold and steady. I would not let him control the narrative. He scoffed. Proof? You have the gall to ask for proof? A woman like you needs no proof to be a seductress. His words lit a fire in me. That's hilarious, I shot back. You think with your twisted, decrepit face, I would pass up my young, handsome husband for a man with 1 foot already in the grave? Arthur was stunned. It's because you're beautiful. You have the face of a fox spirit, born to tempt men. I put my hands on my hips, puffing out my pregnant belly. Let's get this straight for everyone here. Is it a crime to be beautiful now? Who made that rule? Besides, you're the one who thinks I'm beautiful. Doesn't that suggest you're the one having inappropriate thoughts, not me? The crowd, which had been a unified mob, now broke into murmurs, content to watch the drama unfold. Arthur's face darkened. Fine. Your mother-in-law is dead, and you're still here making excuses? You want proof. He held up the note. This blood-stained letter is the proof. I snatched the letter from his hand and examined it. I had to hold back a laugh. It was a forgery, and a bad one at that. You say mother is dead just because you say so? This letter was clearly written by someone else. Mother is illiterate. And this blood? I held it up for all to see. It's red ink. You can even smell it. Come on, everyone, take a whiff. I started to pass the letter around, but a hand intercepted it. It was Leo. Grace, stop making a scene. Mother is gone. For the sake of the dead, can't you just be reasonable? I looked at him. In my past life, he never believed me. This time, even with proof in his hands, he refused to see it. Fine, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. She's dead. But if she's dead, we need to see a body, right? Or can you just accuse people based on a piece of paper? Leo stepped in front of me. How can you speak of seeing my mother's body so casually? Have you no respect for the elderly? I stared at him, a sudden realization dawning on me. Why was he so intent on stopping me? Did he know Eleanor was faking it? Oh, I was going to see that body. Leo, have you no conscience? Are you really going to deny all of us relatives a chance to see Mother one last time? The relatives who had come to celebrate my pregnancy now chimed in. He's right, Leo. We didn't get to say goodbye while she was alive. At least let us see her now. Yes, Jisoo. We'll pay our respects. And then we can arrange for the cremation so she can rest in peace. Leo, who cared more about his public image than anything, was trapped. Perhaps after the banquet, he stammered. This is a celebration for Grace and the baby. No need to wait, I said, my tone firm. I am deeply concerned about Mother. We'll go now. Defeated, Leo reluctantly agreed. When we arrived back at the house, Eleanor was laid out on the bed, her face pale, her body stiff. She looked convincingly dead. I threw myself onto the bed and began to wail, landing several solid punches on her chest. Mother! Oh, Mother! How could you do this? You just ate 5 of my braised pork knuckles this morning. I hit her hard, but she didn't stir. She must have been given some kind of anesthetic. Leo couldn't stand it. He pulled me away. All right, you've seen her. Stop hitting her. Arthur leaped forward and grabbed my hair, yanking me backward. You shameless witch. Abusing a corpse. You wanted to see the body, now you have. Are you satisfied? You were seducing me. An idea sparked in my mind. I couldn't understand why Arthur was so insistent on this narrative. It wasn't exactly a badge of honor. But first things first, I had to expose this old crone. I let fresh tears fall. Mother, I don't know what I did to make you hate me so much, to even misunderstand my relationship with father-in-law. But don't worry. I will handle your arrangements. I will give you the grandest funeral. I pulled out my phone. Hello, is this the crematorium? I need a pickup at this address. Yes, as soon as possible. I want my mother to be laid to rest quickly. The phone was snatched from my hand and smashed against the wall. Grace, can you stop being so unreasonable? Leo yelled. Leo. I wiped my tears, my voice trembling. Who is being unreasonable? I want mother to rest in peace. Is that wrong? Arthur chimed in. She's right, son. Your mother is dead. Let's get her cremated. I know it's hard, but it has to be done. Leo's face went white. No. Dad, you can't. Why not? Are you the father or am I? You really can't. As they argued, the men from the crematorium arrived. Hello, who is the deceased? I stepped aside and pointed to the motionless figure on the bed. That's her. Thank you for coming so quickly. The two workers nodded and moved to lift the body. Leo lunged forward. Stop. Nobody touches my mother. I frowned. Leo, what are you trying to do? If you keep this up, I'm calling the police. His eyes were bloodshot as he glared at me. Grace, I'm telling you, if you dare touch my mother today, I will divorce you. I froze, thinking I'd misheard. What did you say? Divorce. His stance was resolute. Yes, divorce. I've had enough of you. If you touch her, we are finished. I let out a short, sharp laugh and shrugged. Divorce? Perfect. That's what I want, too. I turned to Arthur. Dad, you want mother to rest in peace, don't you? Arthur, catching on, gave a signal. He and a few other relatives grabbed Leo and pulled him away. I noticed Eleanor's fingers twitch. A smile spread across my face. Waking up, are we? Please hurry, I urged the workers. I'm afraid she might reanimate. The workers, understanding, grabbed Eleanor's arms to lift her. And then, under the shocked gaze of everyone in the room, Eleanor shot bolt upright. Aya! A ghost. She's really a ghost. Oh my God, hold her down. Hold her down. This is terrifying. No, no, no. I'm not even married yet. I don't want to be bitten by a zombie grandma. Even the mortuary workers stumbled back in fear. I, however, remained perfectly calm. Mother, you're not dead? Why are you sitting up? Here, lie back down, I said, moving to push her back onto the bed. Eleanor couldn't keep up the act any longer. Her eyes flew open. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I'm alive. I'm alive, she shrieked. The room erupted in chaos. Leo's face was a study in humiliation. He stared at his fingers, unable to meet my eyes. Arthur, who had been genuinely terrified, crawled up from the floor and cautiously poked her arm. The truth was now blindingly clear. Leo knew his mother was faking it. Arthur did not. How laughable. For 10 years in my previous life, I had pitted Leo for the pain of losing his mother, serving him like a dog, enduring Arthur's endless demands. And all along he was a co-conspirator. His righteous anger, his disbelief, it was all an act designed to destroy me. You weren't dead? Arthur stammered, pulling the tattered suicide note out again and throwing it at her. Then what is this? Eleanor's face was a mixture of embarrassment and anger. The relatives began to buzz. Eleanor, now that you're alive, you need to tell us. Is it true? Did your daughter-in-law really seduce your husband? Eleanor shot me a contemptuous look. Of course it's TR. Mother, I interrupted, my voice sweet but firm. You should think carefully before you speak. Everyone here knows your temper. If I had really dared to seduce father-in-law, you would have beaten me to death, not resorted to faking your own. My words sparked memories among the crowd. They all remembered the time Eleanor caught Arthur flirting with a woman from his square dancing group and threw a bucket of acid at her. That incident had cost the family a fortune. Eleanor was speechless. I was just worried about my son, she mumbled. With a wife like her, I didn't want them to fight. So you wrote a suicide note that would be guaranteed to make us fight? I asked, my voice laced with innocence. She stammered, unable to form a coherent sentence. I walked over and took her hand. Mother, it's all right if you slander me, it's all right if you hate me. But faking your death is a serious matter. You've put yourself through so much. After a fake Death, you lose everything. Where would you go? It's not like you have someone to take you in, right? I paused, feigning a slip of the tongue. Oh, forgive my bluntness. I mean to support you. Eleanor looked like she had swallowed poison. Finally, she changed her tune. Oh, what are you talking about? I was just upset after a family argument and wanted to play a little prank to scare you all. I didn't expect it to get so out of hand. The crowd breathed a collective sigh of relief, which was quickly followed by a chorus of admonishments. Eleanor, you're too much. A woman your age playing such a cruel joke. Exactly. If we had believed you, your daughter-in-law would have been ruined, and your son might have doubted his own child. What if it had led to a real tragedy? You'd be off scot-free, and you'd have destroyed their lives. I could have applauded the relatives. They were better than any detective. Eleanor could only nod and agree, looking as meek as a lamb. After the drama subsided and the mortuary workers were sent away, the fake suicide incident was dropped. But Eleanor's reputation as a vindictive, manipulative shrew was cemented among our relatives, becoming a favorite piece of local gossip. The atmosphere at dinner was thick with tension. 3 miserable faces and me, happily devouring a plate of braised pork knuckle. It was fatty, rich, and melted in my mouth. Why had I let that old harpy eat all the good food for so long? Leo finally put down his chopsticks. Grace, about Mom's thing. I was wrong. I shouldn't have lied to you. Please don't be angry. I looked up, still chewing. You weren't wrong. Why are you apologizing? Mother got angry and played a little prank, spreading a rumor about me and Dad is no big deal either. At worst, I'd be drowned in the spit of our relatives. I paused, letting my words hang in the air. Or maybe you wanted the performance to be more convincing. Maybe you planned to call my baby a bastard and then beat it out of me. That way, I'd be unconscious, and I wouldn't discover that Mother was faking it. Leo's face darkened. He slammed his hand on the table. Grace, stop eating. Can't you see Mom and Dad are upset? Why would Dad be upset? I asked with wide-eyed innocence. Mother came back from the dead. Shouldn't he be thrilled? Arthur let out a short, sharp snort. Eleanor immediately whirled on him. Arthur, what was that? Are you not happy to see me? Or were you hoping I'd actually died? Arthur, who already despised his wife, responded with dripping sarcasm. Happy? Why wouldn't I be happy? I'm just overjoyed you failed to die. You bastard. Eleanor shot to her feet, yanked the tablecloth, and sent the entire dinner crashing to the floor. Food and hot soup splattered all over Leo and Arthur. Eleanor, are you insane? Arthur shrieked, pointing a trembling finger at her. Eleanor put her hands on her hips, her voice a shrill torrent of abuse. I'm not even cold in my fake grave, and you're already cursing me. Do you have a conscience, Arthur? I cursed you? It was you who faked your own death, and now you're blaming me. What do you mean by that? Am I not your wife? Were you happy that I was dead? Arthur, finally snapping, yelled back. Yes, I was. Why didn't you die for real? You've ruined my chance at freedom. So you finally admit it. Eleanor cackled. I knew you were hiding your true feelings. Well, let me be honest with you too. I faked my death to get away from you. And I deliberately framed you and that little bitch Grace. Why? Because she stole my precious son from me. She made it so my baby boy doesn't only love me anymore. I almost choked on my own spit. The woman had a full-blown Oedipus complex. Mom, what are you saying? Leo's face was beet red. You madwoman. You're unreasonable. Arthur sputtered. Eleanor threw her head back and laughed. That's right, I'm unreasonable. What are you going to do about it? Divorce me? If you divorce me, you won't get a single penny, let alone the house. Arthur had married into the family. Nothing was legally his. He knew this. He fumed silently, unable to say another word, and stormed out. Mom, calm down. Dad didn't mean it. Leo soothed, his voice softer than he ever used with me. Eleanor's temper cooled. And you, she said, turning on Leo. How did you let them expose me so easily? If you had stopped them, I'd be long gone with my darling, not stuck here taking this abuse. Wow, I thought. They really don't consider me an outsider. Or maybe they just don't consider me a threat. You're right, Mom, Leo said, nodding. I didn't handle it well this time. I sneered internally. Didn't handle it well? If he had, I would have been living my previous life's nightmare. It was clear now. In his world, no one mattered but his mother. Not his wife of 10 years, not even his own unborn child. Whatever. We'll find another chance next time, Eleanor sighed. Jisoo, you remember it was Mom who gave birth to you, who raised you. And it's Mom who is staying with that old bastard now. Just so you'll have someone to take care of you in your old age. She went on, and Leo responded to every single word. TSK. This pork knuckle was delicious. Much better than that big pig's foot of a son. After placating his mother, Leo went to find his sulking father. The moment Arthur saw him, he grabbed his son by the ear. It's all your fault. If you hadn't stopped them from taking her away, that old hag would be a pile of ashes by now. She never would have woken up. Leo didn't resist. Dad, calm down. She's still my mother. I couldn't let her really die. She was just throwing a tantrum. A tantrum? More like trying to run off with some gigolo. Don't think I don't know what she's been up to. But that's not important. What's important is that she didn't die. Now I have no reason to get money from Grace. No way to be taken care of for the rest of my life. It's all gone. I stood outside the door, my hands trembling with rage. So that was his plan. That's why he endured the humiliation. Why he insisted I had an affair with him. He wanted to use me as his personal retirement fund. Fine. You want to treat me like a fool? I'll make sure your life becomes a living hell. 2 months passed. Eleanor, unable to find another opportunity to elope, was growing frantic. I cleared my throat and approached her, my voice full of empathy. Mother, I understand you. She looked at me suspiciously. What do you understand? I clutched my heart. Mother, we are both women. I understand your hardship, your struggles. You're older now, you deserve to chase true love. I get it. And don't you worry. I will help you. She was skeptical. You'll help me? It'll be a miracle if you don't try to kill me. Oh, Mother, you're still holding a grudge? That was all a misunderstanding. Now that you're alive, you should live life to the fullest. Or do you enjoy seeing your husband so miserable? She fell silent, her expression shifting. I pressed my advantage. Besides, we're family. I love Leo, and by extension I love you. I will definitely help you. Really? How? She asked, her eyes narrowed with suspicion. I smiled and leaned in, whispering my plan in her ear. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Will that really work? I patted her hand reassuringly. Trust me, Mother. I'm confident. I added, think about it. If this works, you'll be free to be with your true love. Free from that old goat Arthur forever. Don't you want a life of freedom? That did it. All right, she said, her voice firm. I'll trust you this one time. But if you dare to deceive me, I'll haunt you from beyond the grave. A wicked smile touched my lips. You can be a ghost and I can be a ghost. But I'm better at it. I came back from being one. That night, Eleanor snuck out and returned a short while later, a sly grin on her face. TSK like a common thief. But thinking about what was to come, I couldn't help but smile. The next evening, Eleanor left under the pretext of going square dancing. I dragged Leo out for a walk. Arthur was left home alone. After an hour, I brought Leo home. As expected, the house was swarming with people, Eleanor's gossiping friends and curious neighbors. What's going on? I asked a woman cracking sunflower seeds. An affair. Caught red-handed, she announced loudly. Old Arthur is wilder than he looks. Hey, aren't you his daughter-in-law? Why are you standing there? Your mother-in-law is about to castrate your father-in-law. Her loud voice drew everyone's attention. Leo tried to shrink away, but the woman pushed him into the center of the chaos. There was Arthur, stripped down to his underwear, being beaten with a broom by Eleanor, a dazed look on his face. On the floor next to him sat a woman who must have weighed 200 pounds. I immediately clutched my stomach and rushed to a corner, pretending to dry heave. Oh my, this is too much for my pregnant eyes. I'll just pay my respects by vomiting first. The woman laughed. You're a timid one, aren't you? Between heaves I managed to ask. Who is that woman? She looks sturdy. Who knows? Some widow from the next neighborhood. Brenda, I think her name is. Heard she's loaded. TSK, old Arthur cheating is one thing, but with that. I composed myself and rushed to intervene. Mom, Dad, what's happening? Eleanor stopped her assault. This shameless hussy seduced your father. I caught them in the act. The woman, Brenda, began to cry, her acting skills top-notch. No, he approached me. He told me his wife was a horrible shrew. You lie. Eleanor's face turned green. She raised the broom again, but I stopped her. I turned to Brenda. Ma'am, my father-in-law is an old man. Please don't corrupt him. Look at his frail body. Can he even satisfy you? Brenda wailed even louder. He lied to me. He said he was very virile. Arthur finally found his voice. You were sent here to frame me. I would never be interested in someone like you. Eleanor cut him off. Arthur, everyone saw you cheating. If you don't give me a satisfactory explanation today, we are getting a divorce. Arthur's face changed. I didn't cheat. You have to believe me. Everyone saw it. Did Brenda walk all the way over here from her neighborhood just to frame you? She has no reason to. You may have no shame, but she does. Give me an explanation or we get a divorce. Immediately. And you won't get a single penny. Eleanor's tirade left him speechless. The threat of divorce was her trump card. What do you want me to do? He finally mumbled. This was the moment. Eleanor produced a pre-written agreement. Sign it. Sign this and we won't get a divorce. Arthur read it, his eyes bulging. You want my entire monthly salary to be transferred to Leo? What, you're not willing? Eleanor shot back. You're the one who cheated. I should be throwing you out with nothing. If it weren't for Leo, you'd be on the street. I added fuel to the fire. Dad, you should be grateful. Mom is doing this for your own good. For the good of this family. If she kicked you out, what would you do? She's willing to keep you. You should be thanking her. Cornered, Arthur finally relented. What about my private savings? Eleanor laughed coldly. Private savings? What private savings? Your money is my money. You dare to hide money from me. She raised the broom. Are you signing or not? Sign or get out. Defeated, Arthur signed the agreement. After he left, I gave Eleanor a thumbs up. Mother, you are truly amazing. She grinned. Of course. Now that I've dealt with that old fool, it's time for me to pursue my true love. Yes, Mom. I clapped. You should pack your bags this week before Dad starts causing trouble again. With Eleanor's situation handled, I went to a friend at the hospital and got a fake medical report. I knew Arthur wouldn't let this go. He'd be furious when Eleanor left him after taking all his money. I needed to get far away from the impending battlefield. I walked in the door and threw myself into Leo's arms, sobbing hysterically. Leo, what am I going to do? Startled, he held me steady. Grace, what's wrong? What happened? I looked up, my eyes brimming with tears. Leo, I went to the doctor. And the doctor said. His heart leaped into his throat. What did the doctor say? Is the baby okay? With a trembling hand, I gave him the forged report. The doctor said the baby has a severe birth defect, and we need to terminate, and I can never get pregnant again. Leo's face turned ashen. The report clearly stated, fetal developmental abnormalities, termination of pregnancy recommended. An ultrasound image showed a fetus with severe structural deformities. His hands shook. He couldn't believe it. The child he had waited 5 long years for. Was this? And worse, I could never conceive again. He would never be a father. But he also knew with a gut-wrenching certainty that they could not bring this child into the world. It would be a burden they could never escape. After a long silence, he took the report and went into his mother's room. See? No spine. When faced with a problem, he always ran to his mommy. This was the man I had loved and been betrayed by for a decade. This time I would not be the one left in ruins. The next day, Leo sat down before me, his face grim. Grace, I love you. I really do. But I also love my mother. And she desperately wants a grandchild, so you want a divorce, I finished for him. He nodded slowly and took a small, exquisite box from his pocket. Inside was a glittering diamond ring. The one I had paid for in full when we got married because he claimed he had no money. Grace, I know you've been wronged. I'm sorry. This ring is yours. Please take it. I took the ring and watched it sparkle under the light, a sarcastic smile playing on my lips. Leo, you will always be like this. A man without a spine. And a man without a spine can never truly be loved, and will never find happiness. His face soured, but he said nothing. Let's get a divorce, Leo, I said, my voice calm. For 10 years I gave you everything, and you disappointed me at every turn. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. A flash of pain crossed his eyes, but he nodded. Okay, I agree. I scoffed. What a pathetic actor, pretending to be heartbroken. The divorce was smooth. 10 years of marriage were over in a day. My life was finally my own again. Eleanor did divorce Arthur. He was kicked out of the house with nothing and ended up on the streets. She, in turn, ran off with her lover. But unlike in my last life, she didn't have me to bankroll her son. She was broke. Within 2 months, her lover had scammed her out of everything she had. And she came crawling back to the city, a penniless wreck. As for Leo, he initially had great confidence in his prospects. But after a few disastrous blind dates, he started calling me to complain. He was handsome and filial, he argued, a real catch. Why wasn't any woman, not even a college student, willing to marry him? I almost died laughing. A 32-year-old, balding, greasy man with no car, no house, no savings, and a notoriously vicious mother? What woman would be blind enough to choose that? After a year and 60 failed dates, reality finally set in. He and his mother tracked me down, hoping for a reconciliation. They found me sitting in the back of a Rolls-Royce holding my baby. They looked haggard, but their eyes lit up with joy when they saw me. Grace. It's me, your husband, Leo. Grace, it's Mom. Do you remember me? I leaned against the window, a smirk on my face. Well, if it isn't Mr. and Mrs. Lee. What brings you here? Come to give me money. Leo rubbed his hands together, smiling sheepishly. Grace, we're family. Don't talk about money. Eleanor chimed in. Yes, Grace, Mom missed you too. Is this my grandson? You had him. Her eyes gleamed. Look, Grace, it's not easy raising a child alone. Why don't you? Why don't I what? I asked, intrigued. Why don't you and Leo get back together? A family should be together. I smiled. Who said I was alone? I have a husband. At this, Leo dropped to his knees, sobbing. Grace, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have listened to my mother's lies. I shouldn't have doubted you. And I never should have divorced you. Please forgive me. For the sake of our child. Eleanor also dropped to her knees. Grace, Mom is begging you. Forgive Leo. It was all my fault. I shouldn't have schemed against you or slandered you. I know I was wrong now. I'll do anything, just take Leo back. I watched their performance with cold detachment. They were sorry now? Now that they were desperate? They were the ones who had thrown me into the abyss. Just as I was wondering how to get rid of them, a man came rushing out of a nearby baby store, his arms full of supplies. What are you doing? Who gave you permission to get near my wife and child? He was tall and powerfully built, with sharp, handsome features and an intimidating aura. Leo, startled, tried to shield his mother. Who are you? This is our family business. The man sneered. Family? You think you're worthy? He tossed the baby supplies at Leo and stepped in front of me and our child. I'm warning you. Stay away from my wife and son, or you'll regret it. Leo was completely baffled. Your wife and son? What nonsense are you talking about? She's my wife. That's my son. The man impatiently pulled out his phone, opened his photo album, and shoved it in Leo's face. Look closely. This is my marriage certificate with my wife. And this is my son's birth certificate. Leo's eyes widened in disbelief. The marriage certificate clearly showed a picture of me and this man. The birth certificate listed the man's name as the father. He pointed a trembling finger at me. You were with another man behind my back. Eleanor was speechless. I waved at them. Sorry to disappoint you, but we're done. I linked my arm through my new husband's. Darling, let's go. Of course, he said, stroking my hair fondly. He shot a cold glance at Leo. Get lost. The next time I saw news of the Lee family, it was on the national news. A family of 3 making the headlines together. The headline was shocking. Elderly man stabs homeless woman on street in suspected crime of passion. Patricidal son pleads not guilty in court, claims revenge for mother. I skimmed the article. After being kicked out, Arthur had been living on the streets, surviving by collecting trash. He was forced to give all his meager earnings to Leo. Over time, his mental state deteriorated. Eleanor, after being scammed, had also returned to the city and was living as a vagrant. As fate would have it, they met at the same dumpster. Recognizing her, Arthur's old and new hatreds boiled over. In a fit of madness, he attacked her with a kitchen knife he had found. She died on the spot. When Leo learned of his mother's brutal death, he was consumed by grief and rage. He broke into the detention center and murdered his own father. In the end, Leo was sentenced to life in prison. A family of 3 completely destroyed. I put down my phone and let out a long, slow breath. The universe had a way of balancing its books. Evil had met its end. What are you looking at? My husband's gentle voice brought me back to the present. I turned to meet his deep, loving eyes and smiled, a feeling of profound peace settling over me. Nothing, I said. Just some irrelevant people. He murmured, pulling me into his arms. From now on I will protect you and our son. I will never let anyone hurt you again. Okay, I whispered, nestling into his warmth. Outside the sun was shining. The world was quiet and beautiful. The inn,